I want you to picture basically what you have here is you have a staircase, right? Made out of a dollar. Pretty creative, right? I found that online. The first step to you being profitable in a business is what? What do you guys think? There's literally about 8 steps in order that will lead to profitability. What do you all think the first one is? Come on, don't be bashful. Don't make me do all the work here. Engage your brains. Dan says know your numbers. Micah says know your numbers. Neither one of those are right. They're important, but they're not the most foundational, fundamental step. Stanza says attitude. We're getting closer. Maybe someone with one more guess. Having a plan, getting the phone to ring. Okay, these are all good things. All right. It is leadership. Okay, it is your leadership. All right. Now I'm kind of preaching to the choir because you guys are here. You've invested in your leadership. You've owned your crap. You've opened your heart and soul to a bunch of other people here to help you get better and stuff like that. But guys, the number in any organization, okay, I hate to use this example, but I will because I'm a Bears fan. The Patriots have this down. The reason that the Patriots are consistently on the top, other than they play in a weak division and they just walk into the playoffs every year, but that's my own personal opinion, all right, is they have leadership at the top. The people that lead that organization or any other successful organization for that matter are very clear on who they are and where they want to go and what they want as a leader. And they take the steps that are necessary to develop as a leader. And a couple of these other slides I'm going to go into today actually talk a little bit about how to develop yourself as a leader. So I'm going to breeze through it now and talk about it a little later. All right. The next step up is once you have a strong leader. All right. And remember, there's many definitions of being a leader, but will people follow you, right? Are you inspiring people to action? Do you have people that would lay in traffic for you and things like that? If not, then you got work to do as a leader. One of the things I'm most proud of way back in the day when the recession hit my painting company is none of our employees left. They all stuck together. And I believe, and I accidentally was a pretty good leader. I didn't know all that I know now. But looking back on it, all right, I can see that the main reason they stayed was the first 2 steps here. And the first was our leadership. And the second step to being a profitable company consistently over time, year in and year out, is the culture that you create. Somebody said, Frank said culture a minute ago. So Frank, you're close. Okay, it's the second rung. It's culture. Back to the Patriots. Type in the box. What do you know right now? What's kind of the cultural mantra of the New England Patriots? What do you guys, what is it? Somebody's going to type it in here right away. Brady is God. Yeah, it helps to have Tom Brady, right? Brady's a player. He's a leader. Okay. Frank says work. Close. Team. That's all in there. Yep. Tim, I expected you to get this right out of the gate. And it's funny, when I talk about this live in front of groups and audiences, there's usually 4 or 5 hands that go up right away and they yell it out and they're right. Okay? It is do your job. They have a culture there where you are expected and held accountable to doing your job. It is that simple. That's why a guy like a Randy Moss several years ago who had problems, just kind of being a douchebag from time to time and stuff like that. That's why a guy like him, these high profile, ego-filled wide receivers can go there and be successful and not cause any problems because they know going into it that this is the type of place where that doesn't fly. That's one element to the culture that they've created is do your job. So right now, I want you to type in the box. Type in the box for me, and mostly for you. What are a couple things that you hope to intentionally build your culture around? A certain mindset, a certain mantra, certain values that you have. What comes to mind for you that, hey, this is the type of place that we fill in the blank? Frank says best foot forward. Okay, what else? Having fun. And again, your culture isn't just one thing, guys. It's many things, but okay, your craft, having fun, communication, care, professionalism. All right, so integrity. One of the best things that you can do, because remember, this is you setting the culture is no different than what we talked about earlier about the Earl Nightingale video that we shared at an event not too long ago, a couple of years ago, whatever it was, about you're getting in a boat and you're going to, where are we going? You got to be a strong leader to go, this is where we're going. And oftentimes it's going to be extremely lonely. People are going to think you're out of your mind. All right. I'll tell you right now, one of the things that was really hard when we were building the CSA and the bridge early on was I was hanging my hat on, we were going to build this company by being givers of value and content. Okay, that we are educators here. And I built the whole initial marketing plan on that this is the type of culture that we educate people. And I know that could sound really remedial, but it was a long time before people were joining the group that gave. And it was very lonely at times when Steve and I would be on a phone call together and he'd be like, how are we going to get people to join this thing? I'm not sure if this content marketing will work. And these videos, I don't see anybody joining, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And it was lonely at times to just go, I'm going to stay the course because I got in this boat and I'm riding this boat because this is what I truly believe in, because it is a value of mine. It is a core value of mine. So I would encourage you guys to really take some time and go, what is the intentional culture that I want to build here? A lot of us, we all have a culture right now. The problem is most of our cultures in our companies are basically just what we're getting instead of what we truly want based on the work we've done to get clear. Do you guys understand that, or did I just confuse you all even more? Let me know. And if you have a question, please ask it. All right, so Frank, here's culture. Another way to look at culture is, what do I expect and what do I tolerate? So back to the Patriots. They expect you to do your job, and if you don't, they don't tolerate it. Okay? So what are your expectations? Many of us have all these expectations, but we tolerate a lot of things that are not in line with those expectations. So somebody here said communication. Stands as like, we're a culture that communicates. That's our ace in the hole, man. That's what we hang our hat on. We communicate. All right. Well, if that's his expectation, but he's not living it out and he's tolerating communication within his company, then it ain't going to do any good. One of the core values in my business, my personal business, I have a number of them. And I'll try to think what's the best one here to use this for this example. It would be, it's keep things simple. Okay. Neil and Roz and I, we have meetings all the time because we expect things to be simple. Life, business, relationships, all those things, money, the world makes those things complicated enough. I want this to be a place where it's simple and we still get people results. So we try to keep our program simple, our communication simple. We're always looking to refine these things. And whenever something's complicated, one of us raises our hand and says, we can't tolerate this because we're simple. We want to keep things simple. Okay. So hopefully, Frank, that makes sense and clarifies that for you. All right. So the next rung is, so we got strong leadership, intentional culture. Any guesses on the third? The third step to profitability. The third rung here, guys, is employee satisfaction. If you do not have a satisfied employee, it's going to be really hard to develop the culture that you want and to be the leader that you're trying to be. And so many, usually when I do this in front of a group, I'll say, you know, what's one of the most important things to being profitable? 9 out of 10 times, a group full of contractors, most of them go, you got to do amazing work. You got to do amazing work. You got to be a great craftsman, because that's where our minds are programmed as artists, as craftsmen to go, is we got to deliver an amazing product to people. And that is absolutely true. We have to deliver amazing product. And as a hint, that's one of the other steps. Okay. But one of the ways to getting there is satisfied employees. And I'm going to give you the next couple here because they all kind of fit together. So guys, when you have an employee that is satisfied, that employee is more likely now to be loyal, and you're going to have less turnover and more consistency. And then when you have a satisfied employee who's loyal, their quality of work goes up. So the employee productivity goes through the roof. Okay, so steps 3, 4, and 5 here are employee satisfaction, employee loyalty, and employee production. You guys see the relationship of that. Okay, if you go right to bettering the product, it's going to be a harder battle, okay, to go in the direction you want to, versus starting with the troops on the ground, starting with the person who's answering the phone, the person who's selling the job, the guys that are showing up and things like that. When those people are satisfied, they're sticking around. They got skin in the game, and then they're happier, and happiness with employees will always lead to higher productivity. So back to that slide I showed you guys earlier about the bucket leaking. If you want to fix your cost of goods, it's not just a matter of yelling at your guys for not bringing a job in on the hours. It's going, how can I really look at this and make life better for them? All right. When I first talked about this a couple years ago with Steve was telling me, like, people ask him all the time, like, man, how do you do so much? Or even Derek, you guys they do so much revenue and profit with little employees, small number of employees compared to so many other businesses. All right. I think one of the things that they've gotten right is they go way out of their way to make sure that their employees are satisfied. So let me do this. Let me put some work on your plate right now, guys. Get damn active in the chat box here. All right. What are some things that you feel you could be doing right now to better satisfy your employees? What comes to mind? What are some practical things? Incentives, remember their birthdays, events, thank them. Yeah, in short, yeah, show gratitude. All these things are right. And the question was what you can be doing. So only you know. All right. So guys, Steve's platinum rule. Okay. Treat others the way they want to be treated. So somebody here said incentives. I highly believe that incentives are good if you know your numbers, if you know your math, if you're not creating some incentive program that's going to fuck you over on your money. Okay. So I'm not saying no to incentives. What I am saying is taking the time to get to know your people, what's going on in their life, ask them what their goals are, take an interest in those goals and those dreams that they have, and in turn, here's the kicker, help them reach those goals. Okay, think about the message that sends. Here's an example way back in the day with my painting company in Chicago. I shared earlier that we had nobody left during the recession, and we cut everyone's pay like 20% or more. And we pulled everybody together, and nobody left the company. And later on, I asked one of the top guys, I said, why did nobody leave? And he said, it was 2 things. He says, we know you care about us, and we like, he was basically saying we love the culture here, even though he didn't use the word culture. And when I think back, I was like, okay, what did we do to show him how we cared about him? He always had a dream to start his own painting business. He thought, like all of us do, right? We're working for somebody. I can do this better. I can make more money. It'll be better for my life. So instead of fighting him on that and saying, hell no, you're not going to start your own business. You need to work here and blah, blah, blah. We actually helped him start his own business. And the cool thing was, and this happened about every 14 to 18 months, he'd come into our office and tell us he's going to leave, start his own business. And our first reaction was, dude, that's awesome. I know this has been a big dream of yours for a long time. Let's help you do this so you can avoid some of the pitfalls that we made. And we broke out the budget. We broke out the marketing plan. We talked about the things that go into building a website, how to price your work, processes that you're going to need, stuff that you're going to need to be successful. And 100% of the time, every stinking time, he would get into this for a few hours. He'd call a timeout. And he would basically say, you know what? I'm not ready for this right now in my life. I'm content just working here and being a foreman. Okay. Because we cared about what was important to him. Okay. Back to incentives again. The incentives, guys, don't always have to be monetary. Okay. To have a satisfied employee. It could be listing. If somebody wants to coach a sport. I mean, I've been blessed to be able to coach high school football for 17 years. It is a non-negotiable for me. All right. I'm not going to work for an employer that won't work with me on that. Now, I understand I'm not going to be a fit for every job either, right? I'm kind of unemployable. But the point is, if you have an employee that plays in a band, or they want to coach, or maybe their dream is, I want to take, I worked with a guy a few years ago, trying to think who it was right now. I thought it was somebody in the CSA. They had a foreman, when they had this conversation with them, they're like, Billy, what do you really want? You've been here a long time. We want, we really want to hear you out. What's important to you? What goals do you have in your life? He wanted basically to take Fridays off 6-8 months out of the year so that he can leave and go fishing out in the woods. And instead of fighting that, instead of saying, no, these are the hours that we work, they said, hey, that's not out of the question. Let's put our heads together and figure out how this can happen. And a couple months later, they ended up pulling the trigger on it and made it happen for the guy. And you think that guy's going anywhere? No, because you're giving people what they want, and that's satisfaction. Contrary to popular belief, people do not leave a job because of money. Yes, it factors into that. Yes, I believe we should be paying people more than the industry average and things like that. All right, you guys with me here? When you can really tap in and that you're bit to somebody's goals and dreams and desires and plans, and they feel like you're in their corner, there's very few people that are going to leave your company. And because they're satisfied, that creates that loyalty, which creates higher production in every way, shape, and form. Okay? All right, so hopefully we're good on that.